Oh my God. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am the infamous Kiki. Welcome to my channel. I had to get someplace where there was better lighting because it is dark and rainy and miserable and I don't have that much good lighting in my house. But anyway, I just had to come someplace where there's some better lighting. I'm trying to position myself where there's better lighting. This is the best I could do. I didn't want to get out my ring light. But anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Kiki. I am an exjw. If you don't know what that means, I'm an ex Jehovah's Witness. I was a Jehovah's Witness. I have a whole playlist on my channel for Jehovah's Witness videos. And I talk about my story about I joined the Witnesses. I was not born in it. I wasn't raised in it. Just give you a brief synopsis. I joined when I was 13 years old. And that's unusual within itself, but I actually chose the JW life. The JW life didn't choose me. I chose to be a Jehovah's Witness, believe it or not, at 13. Shocking for sure. But I tell my story and I tell other stories and things that I've witnessed. Some of them funny, most of them funny. And so I I I know it's going down when somebody who has never been a Jehovah's Witness is sending me text messages talking about the governing body. Yes, I have my bestie, my sister-in-law works with a current Jehovah's Witness, and she's told her coworker that I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I actually make content on YouTube talking about them. So this coworker told my sister-in-law to tell me that the governing body, the governing body, which the governing body is a group of men that run the Jehovah's Witness organization that makes changes. They do a broadcast on jw.org, and jw.org is the website that Jehovah's Witnesses use to listen to updates. It's a wealth of knowledge. It's a database. So every Friday, or not every Friday, I think like once a month, they have a broadcast where they just give updates about the organization, spiritual encouragement, just things like that. And so a JW broadcast has dropped. It has dropped like a Drake mixtape, y'all. It has dropped. I mean, the governing body has dropped some updates, and we're gonna talk about them. I promise you right now, Tony Morris then had a stroke, or he's drinking some Tanqueray right now, or maybe he got that scotch out. He got that good scotch. Tony Morris got that good scotch right now, because I'm sure that mofo is not happy. And I'm sure there are other people in the organization who are not happy, not happy about these changes. A couple of months ago, they made changes saying that men can wear beards. Now, for those of who have never been Jehovah's Witnesses, who've never been part of the organization, y'all may be sitting there like, child, what? They can wear beards, big whoop-de-duck. But for the longest times, they could not wear beards. There was no real biblical reason behind it. It was just kind of like a JW cultural thing. Well, they came and changed that they can wear beards. That was a big thing in the congregations. Some people didn't agree with it, but hey, after that, they came out with talks and literature in the congregations instructing people that they're just going to have to get over it. Mofos can wear beards. And so there are a bunch of men who have went out and grew beards. Now, it's optional. You don't have to wear a beard, but you can if you want to. So that was a big thing. I thought that was big. So I got on Reddit because I'll be in these Reddit streets a little bit. I got upset with the people on Reddit because So a couple of months ago, I posted on Reddit saying, what's up next? And so people were, commenting about things that they think they're going to change. And the thing about that some people had brought up was about pants. And I said it in my video a couple of months ago as well, that I thought women not being able to wear pants was going to be one of the changes. Well, looky here. Winner, chicken dinner. Miss Kiki has accurately predicted of one of the changes. But it was more changes than just that. So let's back up a little bit. Let's back up, okay? Back up. And make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to my content. Like I said, I have a whole XJW playlist. Over the past 2 years, I've done videos about the things that I've seen in my opinions on being a ex-Jehovah's Witness. A lot of my subscribers, I know that I got a flood of subscribers when I used to do a lot of videos on the XJW. The XJW community is strong. They're strong and mighty. There's a bunch of YouTubers who post XJW content online. So I like to say what's up to all those people. So make sure you hit the like button, thumbs up, like button, whatever you want to call it. And then make sure you also comment about your feelings about the changes or what do you think that's coming next? I don't know. So let's just back up. So I watched the JW broadcast. I just got through watching it. I watched the whole entire thing. First of all, the first change that they have made is, if you don't know, being a Jehovah's Witness, if you do something naughty or if you do something that is not biblical or against the rules, then the elders, and the elders are men in the congregation. Depending on how big your congregation, it may be 4, 5, or 6, just depending on how big the congregation is. But the elders are the ones in charge of shepherding the flock. They're like a mini governing body. So each congregation has a body of elders that pays the bills for the kingdom halls, and the kingdom halls is what you would call a church. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses call their churches, kingdom halls. So the elders basically run, they pay the bills, they shepherd the flock, they sometimes people do bad things. Y'all know human beings do bad things. So you need somebody that will sit there and guide them, talk to them. And if it becomes too bad, they will do something called disfellowship. Disfellowship is when you actually get kicked out of your kingdom hall, you get kicked out of the religion. You can't come to meetings, you can't talk to your family, and that's where we get into shunning. If you look up Jehovah's Witnesses and shunning, there's many articles, many videos explaining what shunning is. A lot of people call Jehovah's Witnesses a cult, and one of the reasons is because the shunning. So shunning basically means if somebody leaves a religion, especially if somebody gets disfellowship, then your family and friends will not talk to you. You will lose your kids, you will lose your I know people that got divorced because they got, one of the wife or the husband has been disfellowshipped, and then they couldn't deal with the separation. And so they've ended up getting a divorce or separated because of the shunning. The shunning is real. The shunning, they try to make it out that it's biblical, but it's really not. So if you decide that you want to leave the religion one day, then they will be a little bit easier on you. But whoa, hell hath no fury if you get disfellowship. So if you get caught doing something wrong and the elders come talk to you, then if you prove that you're repentant, then you would stay. If you're still doing the same things that got you in trouble, or you're not repentant, then you will get disfellowshipped and everybody will stop talking to you and you're not invited to the kingdom hall anymore. Okay? So they have kind of tweaked the rules, not or the procedure. I shouldn't say the rules, the procedure about getting disfellowship. Now it's to the point where it seems like to me, and it seems like to other people as well, is they're trying to make it easier for people to stay in the organization. They're trying to give people more chances because, again, when I joined when I was 13 years old. That's a long time ago. So we're talking about, I was in what they call, quote unquote, the golden age of Watchtower, which was back in the 90s. So in the 90s, I was 13 when I joined. And I know people that went in for a committee meeting. They call it when you meet with the elders and you have a reprieve for a committee meeting when they need to talk to you about some serious wrongdoing that's been uncovered. I know people that had doubts and need time to think about it. And they was like, boom, you disfellowship, just like that. So now they're trying to tweak the rules to where they will actually talk to you and then come back a couple of months or a couple of weeks later, and they will talk to you again and see if you're repentant, to see if you corrected. So I guess instead of just pulling the trigger and disfellowshipping people so easily, they're not trying to make it, they're trying to soften that a little bit to where people are not getting disfellowship so quickly. So that's one change. And that's how I interpret it in the JW broadcast. I may be wrong, but that's how I kind of seen it. It's like they're trying to stop the bleeding, and we'll get into that in a minute as to why they're doing this thing. The other thing is about the shunning. Okay. So apparently being an XJW, there's like levels to this. There's tiers now. So if you decided to leave the organization and you're like, I don't believe this anymore, or maybe you just want to go out and do hood rat stuff with your friends. Who knows? Maybe you're just tired of it and you just decide to leave. Before, if you come back to the Kingdom Hall, like say you want to go to a meeting or what I would say church. A meeting is what Jehovah's Witnesses call like when you go to church. So you go to Kingdom Hall, and let's say you go to Kingdom Hall, you show up, people wouldn't talk to you. People would not, if they knew you and they knew that you quit, whether either you left or you got kicked out, they wouldn't talk to you. So people would just turn their head the other way and they just pretend that you're invisible. Now, if you left and you decided to show up for a memorial or a Kingdom Hall, or you decide to show up for a meeting or something, now they're saying it's okay for people to talk to you and say hi and actually address you. And no, you can't associate with this person, but at least you can say hi. I don't know what that's supposed to do. That doesn't limit the shunning. That I don't know what that does. It for me, it don't do much. I don't care. I personally don't care because again, I wasn't born and raised in it. But for people who have lost their family and friends to this organization because they either got disfellowshipped or decided to leave, I guess now if you left, they can say hi to you. Congratulations. This just still does nothing. It's a baby step. It's a baby step, I guess. Okay. And then the other things that these rules don't apply to apostates. So known apostates. So apostates is somebody who talks bad about the Jehovah's religion. I would be considered an apostate because I talk bad, but I really don't talk bad about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I would be considered apostate because I'm an ex-witness making videos about and criticizing the organization. So I would be deemed as an apostate. An apostate is something really, really bad. And I was never disfellowshipped. Me personally, I left the organization a long time ago when I was like in my early 20s. So I even though I wasn't disfellowship, I would still be on the same tier as so the disfellowship people, they still don't, you don't have to talk to them. You're not required to talk to them. You're not supposed to still talk to them. So I guess there's levels to this shit now. So I guess, us apostates or who talk bad about the organization as what they would consider talking bad about the organization, I guess we still ain't gonna get talked to. But the people who left the organization and maybe trying to think about coming back, they are allowing the current members to actually invite them back to the Kingdom Hall and then, maybe do a Bible study, have the elders come and visit them and talk to them. So those of you who left the organization, be prepared to have letters, people knocking on your door. Maybe the elders will show up one day when you just kicking it. Maybe the elders will show up one day. Be prepared for all of this. So I'm just letting you know that if you're XJW, you left, and the way they're talking now, be prepared to have some elders possibly show up at your door. Hey, okay. I've been out of the organization a long time. So, them mofos, they got to find my ass. But I've been out of the organization. It's been over 20 years for me. Like I said, when I left, I was in my early 20s. So it's been like 25 years since I left the organization. But these people who just recently left, get ready for it. Because I know I've been reading stuff online and Reddit about people are saying that elders within the past couple of weeks have been showing up at their door. So y'all get ready for it. I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine an elder showing up at my door or somebody knocking on my door talking about Bible study. But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Oh my God! The other day when we came home from our vacation in San Antonio, there was a track stuck in my door. So maybe they did find me. Holy shit! I just remember that. Yes, there was a track in my door. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about they can't find me. It's been years, but yes, there was a track in my door. So Jehovah's Witnesses were in my neighborhood, which is weird because, like I said before, I live out in the country. So. But there is a Kingdom Hall. There is a Kingdom Hall, like literally around the corner out in the country. I have a video where I got lost, and then I got real lost, and when I first moved out here, like almost a year ago, and then I got lost, and then I ended up running into a Kingdom Hall. So there is a Kingdom Hall out here. So I don't know. Maybe they found me. I've been found out. Run. But yeah, I found there was a watchtower stuck in my door. So I don't know, y'all. We'll see how this gonna go. So that was the other change is that, but it really just lip service because instead of getting rid of the shunning rule altogether and saying, yes, you can talk to your family members, and yes, you can talk to your friends who decided to leave the organization, they still are like, well, you can invite them to the Kingdom Hall, you can invite them to come back to the church. What if they don't want to come back to the church and then you still can't talk to them? So this makes no difference, really. So that was that. The other big change that everybody was focusing on, the drum roll, please, is that women can wear pants. And again, I predicted this. I said this on Reddit. I said this in my video. I was talking about the changes I think that were going to come up for 2024, and I called it. I said I think they're going to allow women to wear pants. And lo and behold, here we are. And so women are allowed, as long as they're not on stage doing a dramatization, because sometimes women are allowed to get on stage. Women are not allowed to preach in Jehovah's Witness, but they are allowed. They do like certain like skits and demonstrations. So as long as they're not on stage, they are allowed to wear pants. And the pants, they said they have to be tasteful. They can't be, like you can't walk up in there with leggings on and stuff like that. So they have to be dress pants or a dress suit, and then with the other change that was right along with that is the men. The men don't have to wear suit and ties. Like, and again, to those who are not witnesses, this is like you might be sitting there going, what, Kiki? Who cares? Like, cause I know that other denominations and other churches, you have people showed up in t-shirts and jeans and boots and all kinds of things. Like I didn't been to other churches and people show up very casual. The kids sometimes they have shorts on and but not for Jehovah's Witnesses. Even the little kids have to be dressed up as a Jehovah's Witness. Your daughter's got to have dresses on. Your son's got to have a little suit and tie or slacks and a shirt if they're younger. Even the minors got to be dressed up with Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, it's stupid. Like, but now they're allowed. They announced in the broadcast that they are allowing women to wear a nice dress pants, and then men don't have to wear suit and ties. Men are not required to wear suit unless they're on stage giving a talk, which is a sermon, what you other churches would call a sermon, or preaching. If they're not on stage or performing in an official capacity, like at a convention or something like that, then they don't have to wear a suit. They can wear slacks and a shirt. And I've seen that. I've seen younger, especially younger, even in my back in my day, that they would wear a nice button-up shirt and a pair of nice slacks and a pair of shoes and not really like a whole suit and tie. So we live in Texas. It's hot here. I don't know what they do in other congregations in other areas, but that was pretty much a thing here. I mean, in Texas, wearing a suit and tie in the middle of summer is not a good idea. So a lot of the brothers would wear short sleeve, fully buttoned shirts and slacks, or long sleeve shirts, when the weather, like around, it's springtime. I mean, here it's like normally, today is rainy and miserable, but it's in the springtime here in Texas, it's like 70 something degrees. So, wearing a full jacket and tie and suit, it wouldn't happen. They would wear a nice fully button up shirt with a tie and some slacks. Like that happened here. Again, I've read that people in other areas where they had elders who would have come and talk to you if you were wearing slacks and a tie and just a shirt. And then some of the younger ones, when I was younger, they didn't even wear a tie. They just wore a fully button up shirt and slacks. So now they're saying, I guess, that the brothers, the men in the congregation can wear like a nice little college shirt, like a button up college shirt and some slacks, and some nice shoes. And then again, like I said, when I tell people this who are not witnesses, they're like, what? Because this is so normal, in other churches. In other churches, you got young people wearing jeans and t-shirts and hoodies, and people just allowed to show up how they are. sometimes you got to meet people where they at. You know what I'm saying? And it's not so rigid. But Jehovah's Witnesses are so rigid, and they have these arbitrary rules that have nothing, that are not Bible based rules, y'all. A lot of these rules are just shit that they've just made up. So now they can turn around and repeal these rules because a lot of the rules aren't Bible based, and they was just making it up anyway. So they can unmake it up whatever they want to do. So, so all in all, a lot of people are like, why are they doing this? I believe in 2024 is going to be a watershed moment for Jehovah's Witnesses. And I have to say, I feel like there are going to be more changes. I feel like the birthday one, I feel it strongly in my spirit that the birthday hammer is finna drop. Like, I really feel like the birthday thing is gonna, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate no holidays. And there's really no Bible base for not celebrating birthdays. Like, really, there's really no Bible base for not celebrating a lot of holidays. But the birthday thing is really the linchpin of all of this. I think the birthday thing is really like what gets in people's craws. But I don't know. We'll see. I also said the blood doctrine. I don't care what anybody say. People are like, no, Kiki, you crazy. They ain't never going to change that blood doctrine. I feel like I don't mean that they're going to do away with it, but I feel like they're going to tweak the blood doctrine. I've been saying this for years now, because I don't think the way the blood doctrine is sustainable. I don't think that it is, in the times that we live in, I don't think the blood doctrine is timely, relevant, and sustainable. I just don't think it is. I don't think also going to meetings twice a week is sustainable either. I think they're going to narrow it down to maybe a meeting on Sunday, and that's it. And then the other meeting is possibly going to be on a Zoom call or something like that. Because there used to be 3 meetings. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, there was 3 meetings a week. And then they knocked it down to 2. And I was clutching the pearls over there. When people I was like, there's only 2 meetings. I was shocked. I just found this out a year ago. I was just assuming that there was three meetings. And then now they're down to 2. And I think they may go down to 1 and then have the other one just be on the internet. So that's my other thing. I think that Jehovah's Witnesses is going to become more of an online televangelist kind of thing. I've been saying this for years. They're moving towards that. They're building this state of the art studio in New York. They are doing productions and plays and stuff like that, and creating movies and shorts and videos. I think in the very near future, like within the next 5 years, that Jehovah's Witnesses will be mostly online, mostly video, mostly dramas and TV. And there are other Christian religions, cults, if you will, that are going towards that and have gone towards that. I think they will become much more into the digital age and using technology as a way to save money. So I think that, them doing more dramas and more preaching online will save them lots of money. I think they're trying to get rid of these kingdom halls and sell these kingdom halls out, especially the more lawsuits the Jehovah's Witnesses are involved in. They recently lost a lawsuit in Norway. They got their tax exempt status taken away, in part because of the shunning and their practices regarding abuse. And I think that there are going to be changes to that doctrine as well. I think that the Jehovah's Witnesses are going to change how they deal with abuse significantly. I think they're going to do like a total 180 on that. And it's inevitable. I've said in my videos, all of my videos, I've given Jehovah's Witnesses, the governing body, tips as to how to improve the organization. Because again, I don't have the hatred. I didn't have a really bad experience being a witness. I was not abused. I was not hurt in this organization. I didn't have family that was in this organization. So I haven't experienced the shunning like lots of people have. Lots of people have been done dirty by Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. I'm just saying I have not been. I feel like live and let live. I feel like if this religion and organization is for you, then you should be in it. However, one reason why they're doing this change is because their membership is hemorrhaging. Like, people are leaving the organization, especially after the pandemic, when they were doing meetings online and people got a little taste of freedom. A lot of the young people in particularly are becoming disaffected. A couple of years ago, they talk about the youth don't want to be elders anymore. They're having a hard time finding elders and ministerial service because the young people just don't want to deal with this. They don't want to do it. And so in order to try to be a bit more accommodating and flexible, they're going to have to keep changing. The organization needs to grow and change. A lot of these rules were set up and set in place in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. That doesn't apply today in this digital age that we live in. You can't keep doing the same things and having the same rules you had back in the 40s and the 50s that you do now. There's too much stuff on the internet. There's too many people figuring out truths. There's just too much. And so they're not bringing any new people in the organization. And the people that are in the organization, a lot of the young people in particular, are leaving. And so, and then you have litigations and stuff. They're getting sued left and right. So they are losing money. And when they lose money, they rely heavily upon manual labor, free manual labor, and donations. So the more people leave, the less donations that the Watchtower Bible Tract Society get. But again, I'm not hating on the people who are happy with this religion. I never want to tell people what they should do with their lives, that they should leave, that they should go, that you should leave this organization. I'm saying the organization was not for me. I'm saying that religion, period, is not for me. Like, I'm an atheist. I don't do religion. I respect people's, beliefs and however they want to believe. If you want to believe in God, you don't want to believe in God, you will believe in Allah, Buddha, whatever you feel like, whatever you feel like you want to believe in. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that people should have a freedom enough to choose whatever religion or non-religion that they want to believe in. I don't have an issue with the Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization. Do I agree that it's a cult? I believe that Jehovah's Witnesses is a high control religion that can have detrimental effects to your health, to your mental well-being. Yes, I do believe that. And I believe that any religion can warp and twist your mind. Any cult, any religion, any groupthink, any following. I don't mess with none of that. I believe in critical thinking. I don't believe that I need to be in lockstep with a certain group or a certain group of people. I am a free thinker. I believe that people should find out and discover and think on their own. So that's how I feel about any kind of religious beliefs or dogma. I don't believe in dogma. I believe questioning everything. I believe everything should be questioned, whether it be religion, politics, social structures, anything. I believe anything and everything needs to be questioned and dismantled and picked apart if need be. So, I ain't tripping on that. But I believe that there are people who genuinely believe in this religion and love this religion, but it can make it so much easier. You can attract much more people if you relax the rules, and the rules that have nothing, that are not Bible based. These are just cultural things that Jehovah's Witnesses and governing bodies in the past have made this shit up. They've made it up because they had to have some kind of control over the constituency. And that's how it goes for a lot of religions. They're not the only ones. And so I believe that people should be able to live and let live. And, if you have family members or friends that leave in witnesses, you should be able to talk to them and interact with them. And if your faith is strong, the fear is that these people are going to infect the congregation and get people to leave. If the faith was that strong and the religious beliefs was that strong, then, you should let the chips be where they may. And if a person wants to leave and come back, that sometimes people do that. Some people leave and come back anything, religion, art, politics, people leave and people have a choice and have a right to believe what they want to believe. But they are softening the rules so much that the organization today is not the organization that I even recognize anymore. The way the Jehovah's Witnesses do things now these days was not the organization I joined when I was 13 back in the 90s. It is unrecognizable. I know Tony Morris right now is rolling over in his grave and, like I said, having 10 shots of Scotch Child. 10, he's like shots. Because I know there are some on the governing body and some in the organization that are not going to agree with these rules, that do not like these changes. And so I don't know what that means for the Jehovah's Witnesses. I really don't. I don't know if people are just going to leave and they may go form an offshoot. Things like this have happened to other religions where people have actually gone off and done their own sect of that particular religion. And that's never happened with the Jehovah's Witnesses that I know of, that there hasn't been a schism, what they call a schism in the religion. But with these changes this year, this may cause a schism in the religion. And I know some of y'all are gleefully rubbing your hands together and yes. Schism time. Like some of y'all are gleefully happy about this. I feel neutral, but I feel like the changes are necessary. But I understand that being human beings, a lot of human beings are adverse to change, especially when you're talking about religion, especially the old timers, you know. And so, anytime there's change, there's a schism. And I'm just sitting back waiting for it before somebody starts coming together and having their own meetings inside these congregations and online and in secret groups and having secret Zoom calls about how they're upset about things and how we need to go back to the old ways and how we need to go back to how things were. How long before mofos are gonna come together and be having secret calls and meetings at their homes and they want to make Jehovah Witnesses great again? Like how long before we have a JW MAGA and the Jehovah's Witnesses? Like how long before that? And then it starts to spread like wildfire. Like how long? I'm just sitting back waiting for that to happen because I have a deep-seated feeling that that's gonna happen, y'all. I'm telling you right now, y'all can hear it from Miss Kiki that I predict a schism. I predict that some people are gonna splinter off and call themselves something else, but then keep the teachings of the Jehovah's Witnesses like they were the old school teachings, because I can imagine that some people, that this is not going to set right with them, and more changes are going to come. And if they start changing the blood doctrine and start changing their views on masturbation, I've said that. I've said before that one of the few things I see this year also is going to be the change on sex and masturbation, because Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not allowed to masturbate, and I'm like, I think they're going to kind of lax the rules of that. They may not announce it, but I think maybe behind the scenes they're going to kind of like ease off of disfellowshipping people because they're masturbating. I think they're going to kind of ease off that a bit. The way they do their dating style and dating practices have nothing to do with the Bible. It's just cultural. I understand not having sex before marriage. I get that. I don't predict them changing, but I think they will soften their issues on baptism and and dating. I think that's, baptizing children. I think they're going to kind of try to go away from that and get it to where you have to be an adult in order to get baptized. And I think they're going to like change the dating culture to where you don't have so many people getting married young, and they may soften their stance on higher education. I see that as well. Because again, the higher education thing is so bizarre to me, because I would think that you would want more educated people in the organization. And also, these educated people have good jobs, and that will bring more money and more resources to the organization. When you have an organization full of a bunch of people who are broke, who don't get no higher education, because that's how Jehovah's Witnesses are. They don't encourage higher education. So going to college is not really an option. I think they're going to soften their stance on that and see what other religious organizations have come to realize, is that you have to have a working class, educated, higher up people in your organization. Not everybody need to go to college, but you're going to need some people bringing in the money. Like, besides just entertainers and stars, you're going to have to start bringing, and they're not bringing people in the organization. So the best thing to do is to start with the youth. You got to have a great, in any organization, you have to have a good foundation. In any religious organization, your bread and butter and your future is in your youth. And if your youth are not going to college, if your youth are barely finishing high school and they're going out and getting jobs cleaning windows, jobs working at McDonald's, jobs being a secretary, honey, that's not good on your donations. And for sure, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society needs money. They can't operate with no money. And then these poorer countries like, Africa and South America and Latin America, their numbers are strong there, but these people are poor. They don't have the numbers. They need people in the westernized country to give the majority of the money and be and these people need to be an educated class. So, it's okay if you live in Latin America and Africa and, you're not going to higher education because it's expensive and stuff like that. That's fine. But the UK, United States, Germany, Finland, Switzerland, all these other people, you have a bunch of young Jehovah's Witnesses that are not going to college. They're not making money. No, the inflation is bad. The cost of living is high here in America. So you add all that, they know that their donation dollars is down. They know how it is out here. And so people making $10 an hour and they struggling and they still living with their parents. I mean, that ain't bringing no money to Watchtower. Watchtower need money to operate. They got too many damn lawsuits. They got to pay lawyers millions upon millions. They ain't got time for that. So the best thing for them to do is to push the young people to be higher educated, is so they can get jobs as doctors and lawyers and business people and accountants. At least push a trade. At least push, a construction trade, get a CPA, something. But the way it's going now, it's a zero-sum game, the way it's going now. You cannot keep these young people and these people in your organization where they're living on the margins, where they're living hand to foot. They're not even middle class, they're lower middle class people. And you can't keep having this as the base and the foundation of your organization. You're gonna need a higher class of people to bring up the donations and provide more skills. So I see them softening their stance on higher education as to how they're going to do that. Oh, they're going to do it. They're going to figure out that this needs to be done. Like we have to figure out a way to bring more money in. And the only way, one of the ways that you're going to do that is having more of a educated membership, and because education brings money. So they're going to have to kind of cut that stance on education, a higher education, because they're woefully against it, but it's just killing them in the long run. So that's what I think. What else? I think that's all I can think of the changes. So I just want to get on here and talk to y'all and tell y'all what's up. Make sure you thumbs up and like the video, comment. What changes do you think? I think this is the tip of the iceberg. Not, it's to the point where you don't have to preach no more. If the great tribulation comes and you're like, oh my God, Jehovah's Witnesses got the truth, and you want to run back to the organization, that's allowed now. I mean, a lot of things are allowed, that they're trying to get people to stay. They're trying to get people not to leave, not to get this fellowship so easy. They want people to stay. And that's how it should have been for decades. This is how it should have been for years, because they can't keep carrying on in 2024 and beyond with the way the organization's been doing things since the 40s and the 50s. It's just asinine. Change is inevitable. Either you change or you die. That's just how it is. There are plenty of religions that have dwindled so much over the past 10 to 15 years because they don't want to change, and they don't want to get with the times in the digital age, and they've lost their young people. And you go to their churches and it's just a bunch of 60, 70-year-olds up in there in wheelchairs, and those octogenarians and those old folks ain't bringing in no donations, and they not the lifeblood of the church. The lifeblood of any church is its young people. And this goes across the board to all religions. All religions out there, no matter how they try to spin it and tell you their numbers are down. People are leaving, in particular in Christianity, in droves. People are turning their backs on Christianity. People are not going to church. People are still believing in God, still believing in Jesus, still believing in the Bible, but organized religion itself, the numbers have dwindled, and they know this. That's why you have all this conservative push in America, all these Christian groups and these people, because they understand that the conservativeness in Christianity of 2024 was not how it was in 1994, not how it was in 1974, not how it was in 1954. You understand what I'm saying? As time goes on, in particular in America, religion keeps getting pushed further to progress, and it keep being pushed further to more liberal ideas and less conformity and less rigidness. Or I don't care who it's Baptist, I don't care if it's Catholic, I don't care who it is. The Catholic Church today was not the Catholic Church 40 years ago. The Christian churches today were not the Christian churches 40 years ago. Things have changed and rules have changed. They've lessened, before you couldn't even be in a church and be a single woman and have a child out of wedlock. Now it happens all the time. As time goes on, as technology develops and people's thoughts have changed, the church has become more flexible and less rigid as time goes on. So no matter how these people try to spin it, that's just the truth. I mean, the church any church is not like it was 40, 50, 60 years ago, because people don't want that tight control over their lives, because there's too many options out there other than religion. There's too many options for community, when back in the day, the only outlet you had for community was religion. Everybody belonged to a church, everybody went to a particular church. Now it's not like that anymore. Thank goodness. Like, I am so happy that people are getting away from these old timey ass religions and getting away from these dogma. And if you want to find God, if you want to know God, and God, I feel like God is out there for you. If you want to know Christ and know Jesus, I feel like that is out there for you. I feel like religion is a very personal, individual thing. If you want to believe in God, you want to believe in Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to, Hindu stuff, whatever you feel like you want to believe in, I believe that it is an individual journey for yourself. And if you want to belong to a community of people, then that's fine. But the idea that religion has become so hateful and exclusionary, I don't agree with that. I like the commercials that they had out during the Super Bowl, the Jesus commercials. People were blasting them, but they were telling people, you love gay people, love this person, love that person, clean the feet of your neighbor, and don't look down on homeless people, look down on migrants, and look down on trans people. That's not what to me what religion was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be exclusionary. You're supposed to bring in people that are different than you. You're supposed to bring in people that you don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? That's one reason why I turned away from religion, is because of the negativity and the hatred that is in a lot of these sects. I can't mess with that. Religion needs to go back to a message of love. And there are churches and denominations that are out there doing it, are very welcome to all people. But it's just the dogma of religion that I can't get with. And because I believe that if you're going to be religious, that if there is a God, then I believe that God is love. If there was a God out there and I was wrong, because I could be wrong, I believe that a God would love everybody and not hate on people. So, I'm preaching today, y'all. But anyway, enough of me. Howard, what do you think? But anyway, I just had to come on here and say that. You guys have a great day. I have stuff to do today. I've been done like 10 videos in 2 days. It's been crazy, y'all. So anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Thumbs up this video. Tell me what y'all think about the changes. Are y'all scared of these changes? I feel like, and let me say one thing before I go. I feel like with these changes that XJW, some people are going to go back. How do y'all feel about that? I think people are going to see these changes, and a lot of people, these are the changes that they have waited for. And I feel like there are going to be some people that you may see on YouTube that you may not see on YouTube anymore. Now, look, it ain't me. Now, it's not your girl. Now, I ain't never going back to no religion. None. But I just have a feeling that with these changes, there are going to be some people that are going to go back. There are some people that will never go back. But I do feel like some people, the reason why they left is because things were so rigid, and it had nothing to do with their sexuality or abuse or anything like that. I believe that some people left because they fundamentally did not agree with certain things that were going on in their congregations that wasn't that serious. And I feel that some people did not like preaching, and they did not like being told what to do and what to wear. And I think a lot of people left the religion or fell off because they didn't want to listen to all of that. So I feel like with these changes that some people, don't be surprised that you see some people fall into it and end up going back. And then maybe some people just want to test the waters, just to test it, just to see how it is. But I do think that some people will go back. I really do. Because I do believe that the organization has driven people out of the organization because of how rigid it was. And some people, maybe they felt like they didn't want to leave it. They left because they just wanted to, sow their oats or date or have fun, and, and then they ended up getting caught and they ended up getting disfellowshipped, or they just felt like they don't want to go to the meetings anymore. And now, since the meetings are on Zoom calls and there's only 2 meetings a week instead of 3, and they might go down to 1, you may see people going back. So don't be shocked about that, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. But anyway, y'all, thank you guys for viewing. I really appreciate the people that came in here. I like to say a big hello to all my XJW family. Mwah. I wish y'all well. I wish y'all healing and peace, especially for those who've been done dirty by this organization. I wish you healing and peace. I really do. And I wish you would get the help that you need, and be able to be at peace and at ease. Whatever decision you made with this organization, just if you want to go back, go back. Hey, I'm still your friend. I still love you. Even if you want to go back, Kiki still loves you. I don't judge y'all people who want to go back. I understand. I get it. If I was in an organization, I couldn't lose my kids and my family. There's no way in hell I would leave the organization if it meant that I was losing my children. I would have never left. Like if I was in that situation, like some of y'all are so brave. But I don't know if I could lose my family, my friends, my kids, my grandkids. I couldn't do it. The people who've done that, who've chosen the way for their conscience and their heart and their truth, even though they know they're gonna lose everybody that they love, those people are so brave because I don't think I would be able to do that. I don't think I would have that level of bravery if I was in that situation. I don't think I would. So my hat's off to all y'all. So anyway, y'all have a good day. And until next time, bye.